Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Samir Joshi here, of course, and pleasure to be on this call again with you. This is another Q&A session that we are doing for AppsKit Pro, for AppsKit Pro users. And what I'd like to do now, just dive into it straight away, is the questions that we have on the Facebook group at Ask for the Questions to be posted there. So we'll just take them in the order they were received. I have Nick joining me, of course. Nick, can you hear me, or can we hear
Yes.
you? Yes,
Yes, I
awesome,
can
great.
hear you. Yes.
So
Yes.
without further ado, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go straight over to you, Nick, and you can start sharing your screens. I'll read the questions as we go along. The reason why the questions need to be read is, many of you join while driving, for example, and I always hope that you're using hands-free equipment when you're doing that and you're keeping yourself safe. So just so people can follow along and know exactly what is being discussed at what point of time. So with that said, let's dive straight into the first one. I'm just having a bit of a lag here, building this up. Okay, there it is now. One click too many, and so like we've done this last time. This is essentially a how-to session. Okay, so we won't be talking about features, feature requests, or those kinds of things. We'll touch upon that just a little bit as to what we are doing and all that kind of stuff. But this is not a when am I getting this feature, or when am I getting that feature. It is how can I do this, or how can I do that with whatever is there right now. So the first question is actually from Andre Genesini, custom fields for translation to other languages. When in 2020 can we expect this feature? So now this is again a feature issue, and let me just dive into the features topic straight away. By the way, this call is being recorded, so you will be able to access the recording in about 24 hours. It takes a bit of time for GoToWebinar to process a recorded session, and which is why we don't get it immediately. But the moment we get it, we make it available for you guys to take a look at immediately. So, custom fields for translation to other languages. This feature and all other features, for example, also the multi-layer home screen feature and things like that. These are all custom features, yeah? So these were never planned to be in part of the AppsKit Pro portfolio, unless, of course, we've stated that clearly that they are going to be a part of AppsKit Pro. These features are, additional features that are going to be programmed and going to be released on an as-need basis, and the need is expressed by this group. Yeah, and there is also a cost associated for new features to be developed. So let me just take this example of something that keeps coming up over and over again, and I'll get this out of the way, to start off with. And this is this multi-layered home screen feature. Now, this is a feature that has been developed and paid for by users of another platform that you are also familiar with, which is Mass Mobile Apps. They paid for it, they had it developed, and it is available only to Mass Mobile Apps. We had a long internal discussion about this, and we just need to be fair to those guys who have had this developed. Similarly, when we develop features for AppsKit Pro, which like we have done a few, some custom developments in the recent past, which we will be releasing, those features are available only to AppsKit Pro customers. So they are not going to be made available to anybody else. Now, if you do want a custom feature that you absolutely want to have, well, then there's a cost associated with this. So, the demand and supply can meet if there is a if you want to join forces, and if you want to have certain features to have developed for certain languages, etc. Get together and approach us. We'll let you know how much it costs. If it's, for example, adding another language, and some of you have had these discussions with us, or if it's a payment processor that is specific to, you know, a certain European country, we're more than happy to do that for you. But obviously, this comes at a cost, and it will be available then for the entire AppsKitPro platform. But this needs to be done specifically, and will be released also then for AppsKitPro and not be made available to anybody else. So any custom features that you want to have made, you want to talk to us, and basically we'll include that in the roadmap. Okay, so Trevor has a question. Okay, Zach, will you be working on replacement for the Google Print functionality that Google is shutting next year, is I think what you mean. Yes, Nick, do you want to take that?
Yeah, so some of you guys have noticed that Google Cloud Print is not going to be moving forward as of December of 2020. We are aware of that, and we are working to find to produce a replacement. We do have a little bit of time left, so yes, we will have something in place before that expires. So yes, to answer the question.
Okay, so I have some of you stating in the chat that you're not getting any sound. Andrew Lawson, you don't have any sound. Philip Brown is having the same problem. You guys give me one in the chat box, please, if you really can hear me, because I didn't see a lot of people. Okay, so Doug, that's the one. So you can hear me. You can hear me. Yeah. Okay, sorted now. Okay, so I'm seeing that no problem with the sound. Okay, all good, all good, all good. Okay, let's keep going. So that was maybe a specific problem. Okay, then this is from Trigve, and this is about a partnership with the food delivery services. And Trigve is wondering a little about container apps, and you want to create container apps for your customers, and is it possible to do this? Yes, it is possible. So here's a few things about container apps, and you know, Nick, you can talk about. Can we just go through the container app functionality?
Yeah, sure.
First, and then we'll talk about some of the things that we can and cannot do, also in terms of number and limitations, etc. is concerned. Go ahead, please.
Sure. So the concept, container app concept, is basically a single app with multiple individual apps inside. So independent apps of the master app, for example. So the main app would be like the icon on your home screen of your phone. You click on it, and it'll open up into another home screen, and you can have multiple apps inside of one single app. The idea behind this is, for example, for a franchise, like you look at Starbucks, they have one app. They don't have, you know, they've got 1,000 locations. They don't have a single app for each of their 1,000 locations. They've got the single app, and all of their locations are inside of their app. We provide a lot more functionality. There are other examples. If you're in the United States, there's a company called 5 Stars. They have basically built a container app, and all they're providing their clients is a page inside of the app, and they're charging $225 per location per month to be listed inside of their app. Now they've got 15,000 merchants across the country, and they have how many, you know, hundreds of thousands or millions of people that have actually downloaded the app. So they've got power behind them. But if you look at that app and you look at what a container app can do on our platform, we provide the merchant 10x, you know, 50x more than they would get in the 5 Stars platform. So the idea is one app with several apps inside, perfect for franchises, perfect for business groups, environments where you have multi merchants. You can be in a local area, you know, your local town or community, county app or whatever. You can have, again, several apps inside, and all of those apps are independent. Now what that means is the outlet apps have all the functionality that's available on the platform. They would have the ability to log into their own back office. So like you provide a back office for your individual apps that you sell your customers. The outlet apps have their own back office. They have their own rewards programs, their own food ordering systems, their own everything. They're independent. They don't need anything from the master app, except the master app controls permissions for push notifications, whether you allow your outlets to send push notifications. That's up to the master app. Access to the people that download the app. So all of the users will download, for example, if the container app is called, you know, My Local App, they will download that app, and then they would find the Joe's Pizza or Sally's Hair Salon or whatever inside of that My Local app. The master app controls whether or not the individual outlet apps can have access to the people, the user profiles of the people that download the app. We've got 2 or 3 different permissions. Either they can have access to all people that download it, they can have no access whatsoever, or they can have access to only people that make a purchase from their location or favorite their location. So those are the kinds of permissions that you have with the containers, and that's the kind of the idea, the premise behind the container app.
Okay, so what is possible to do? Because I'm scrolling down to a question about how many container apps and all that kind of stuff. First off, question from Mike: when can we expect to see this to be live? Yes, the container app feature is available already, and it'll be, you can ask for it to be activated. Now, the thing is that you get per account, you get 1 container app, and you can have 10 apps in that container. So to your question, Margot, yes, exactly, that is exactly the way it is. It is 1 container app that you get with your account and 10 apps to it. Now, you can have more apps if you want to in that container, but there's a charge associated with increasing that number of apps. There was some talk of we having stated somewhere that it would be unlimited. I don't find anywhere where we've stated that you could have unlimited container apps with unlimited apps in those container apps. So that seems to be a misunderstanding somewhere down the line. So it is possible to expand container apps for sure, but every account comes with 1 container app. Now, the way of you getting access to the container app is this. Let's say you have an account with 10 apps or 50 apps. Let's say 50 apps. So you can mark one of those apps as a container app and reach out to us. And what we will do is that we will convert that app into a container app for you. Okay. Now, remember, this is a one-way street. So you can make a single app into a container app, but you can't, once a container app has been created, you can't say, no, I don't want this. I want to go back to the single app. That doesn't work. So it's a one-way street. So you need to make up your mind pretty well and pretty much in advance as to which app of yours you want to have converted into a container app. And we'll be happy to do that for you. Okay.
Yes, just one thing there. Sorry, Samir. You have to build an app inside of in your dashboard. So there needs to be a something here like this in your back dashboard, and then we can convert one of these. There's not something that we can flip a switch and now you have the ability to build it. So you build an app. Once it's built, send us a message, and we will convert this app, for example, into a container app. Does that make sense?
So, yes, it did to me.
Okay.
Okay, Nick. Okay, I'm just going through the questions here. Mike Palmer is asking, what about the cab and taxi feature? Yes, that is a feature, and that we have it in. We're going to be releasing it soon. It's pretty much done, and it'll be made available. We just had some custom development issues that we had to tackle first, but this one is pretty much done and will be released really soon. Okay, then Trevor has a question. Have placed a privacy policy URL in the field, but it does not seem to have anything to do with anything. I think this is not a how-to related question. Okay, you're asking us to disregard it. That's great. Okay, so let's ignore that then. Okay, then Be Heard is asking, punch cards, location-based. Is it possible to have each location honor the card? That is, each location validates to the one central card, Nick?
So what you can do is you can set up, let's say you have 5 locations. You could set up 5 different punch cards, one for each location. So each location would, so when you click on the punch card tab on the home screen, it will give you a list of punch cards. So you can set them up, saying punch card location 1, punch card location 2, punch card location 3. And then location, when the customer goes to location 1, the location one would go to that card, click on it, and then give them the stamp in that card. There's no automatic way for, you know, if I'm in one location and the card automatically opens to that location's app, there's no way to do that. But there's a list you can do, and then you can name the cards so each location knows which card is theirs. And then when the customers go into the specific locations, those cards can be punched by the passwords have to be entered by the staff. So the staff will know to go, if I work at location 1, I would know to go and punch the card for location 1.
Okay. Gary has a question. When using the notification feature, how do you make it alert the other person that they have a notification on the app? My notifications are showing up, but there is no alert.
So the push notifications work if you've obviously created the APK file and put the app in. You have to allow the push notifications to come from when you're installing the app. So the user has to accept push notifications, number one. Let's see the caveat. The push notification. So basically it has to be accepted. If you're having an issue with a specific issue with push notifications, let me just show you something here. If you're sending out a push notification from the campaigns and setting it up here, this has to be set up correctly. So for example, I've seen some stuff like this before. So, you know, you set the name, the date, that kind of stuff is fine. The reward levels, if this is left blank, you need to select all, even if you don't have reward levels, okay? Locations, again, if there's no locations, you still have to select locations. If you're not selecting these things, you can see there are asterisks here. The notifications won't go out. It'll show up in the screens, but it won't be pushed. And the start date and the end date need to be at least 1 day apart. The reason being for this is because the end date, there's a push notification screen inside the app. The notifications are showing in that screen for whatever date you have here. So let's say I put today's date for the push to go out, and then I had the end date of tomorrow. The day after tomorrow, this notification will disappear from the app. Okay. So this has to be set up correctly. You're not able to if you skip a step here and then it won't go out. So that's the second thing. The first thing is make sure that the notifications are allowed to come in the settings of your phone. And I'm presuming you're testing this with an Android device. Androids have the settings tab, and you need to allow push notifications to be sent. The other thing you can do is also over here on the customer list, when you click Manage Customers, you'll see the customer list like this. If you guys don't see it the same way, it's because your screen is too big. Like I think we've talked about this before. If I increase the resolution, here you'll see, hang on a second. Now my screen size, see things disappeared, but because the resolution is way too big. But you'll see if you click the plus sign, it opens up here. I'm going to reset this now. Okay, so the tab over here, when you're sending, want to test a push notification, this navy blue box sends a push notification specifically to that one person. And I think I saw that question as well. You can send an individual push notification, not to your whole list, but one person. So just click this box, it opens up this page here, and then fill it out, and whatever your message is, hit send, it will only go to that one person. You can test it that way as well.
Okay. Be Heard is asking, is there an import limit for Yellow Pages listings? Import CSV per import,
no,
125 lines? No, I'm not aware of one. Nick?
No, there's no import limit.
Okay. Mike Palmer wants to know, I have the Geofence set up to trigger throughout the city I live in, and it hasn't worked. Any ideas why?
Yes, so a couple things here. So here's a Geofence that we set up, just a test one here. We picked the Empire State Building. Number one, the Geofence has to be active. It has to be set up like that. Number two, up here you'll see reminders in a day. If you click this, if it's set to 0, it will go to, the Geofence won't work. So you have to set this. What this does is basically, it tells the system how many times one device can get a Geofence push notification in a 24-hour period. So that was basically done because people that, for example, that live in this area, we were getting complaints that, you know, if I lived over here, every time I'm going in and out of the thing, my bloody phone was going off. And then they were getting pissed off. So they said, you know, people were deleting the apps because it was going off too many times. So that we've made it now so you can control how many times in one day, a single day, that this is set up. So if you have the number 1, once a day, you'll be able to get that Geofence push notification. If obviously the higher you go, the more often you'll get that notification. So that has to be set up. That's something that that needs to be understood. that wasn't done. The third thing is that the Geofence push notifications need to be, when you're using your location services on your device, have to be turned on. If the other thing is, there's a setting in your phone that you have to allow the app to access your location all the time. If it's not set to all the time, if it's set to only while using the app, the Geofence will not work. If your location services aren't turned on for the app, if the app doesn't know where you are, it can't send you a Geofence push notification. So this is becoming a little bit more difficult to use. Apple and Google are now, if you check your Apple phone, I'm sure you probably have seen, they have these big messages pop up saying, this such and such app is using your location services. Do you want to allow it? This is becoming a bit of a problem because most people now start opting out of this kind of stuff. Make sense?
Yes, definitely does. Hold on, there's a bit of a lag here. Screen's frozen up. Okay, I don't know for what reason my Facebook screen has. So, but I'll just switch over quickly to one of the questions that is being posed in the webinar from Tony Q. What's the status of the OTOs? Yeah, so it's a good question. Let me answer that. OTO 3 is going out tomorrow. So look out for an email in your inbox. Whoever has purchased the Droid kits, which are done for you app kits, which are basically gorgeous home screens that you get from us that you can just use and modify slightly, and then you're good to go, and they're pretty much done. So if you've bought a silver or gold level, which means 5 or 15 kits, depending on your membership level, you'll be getting that in your inbox. Yeah, could be as early as tomorrow. It's ready and it's out to be shipped. Now, there were a lot of questions about when it's going to come and all that. Now, to remember about the Done For You Droid OTO, it is released every month at the end of the month or the beginning of the preceding month, depending on what the timeline is like. So we had the launch in at the end of October. So at the end of November, which is basically now, is the first time we can release that, and we are perfectly on time, and we're going to be releasing that tomorrow. Okay. And as far as OTO 4 is concerned, it's an amazing OTO, which is the Academy and Certification Program. We've already had one session for this, and we had to, because there were some internet connectivity issues in the second one, so we're going to be doing the second session on it next Tuesday. And an invitation will be going out to the OTO 4 members for that. So that is the status on the OTOs very quickly. Let me see if I can get my screen back here again, so that I can go back to answering the questions that I was answering. For some reason, this is frozen up on me, so I've had to basically close my browser window and start all over again. Hold on, just bear with me 1 minute. 1 minute here. Okay, so then there is a question.
I had one. I think I saw one. I'll check on this while you're looking.
Yes, yes. If you just want to take a question and
yeah,
that would be good.
Check the group. Somebody had asked, for example, there is an appointment booking. There are these links at the bottom of the page. What are these links for? Why are they there? The links basically are external links. So right here it says front end link. If you click on this, it will take you to the front end. You can embed this on a website. So let's say you're using an appointment booking feature inside the app. You can take the URL and put a book now button on your website. So your website and your app would have the same system. Okay, that's what that's there for. Those kinds of things. Similarly with the restaurant booking, the shopping cart, there are front end links as well. So that just that's what the reason for those kinds of things are. They're branded to the appadminlogin.com. There's no AppsKitPro mentioned here. It's AppAdminLogin is a generic white label site. It's it's a private site. Nobody knows what it is for, so it's not going to. You can put your customers there and rest assured they're not going to be knowing about AppsKitPro. The other thing that we received a question on was the shopping cart. Somebody was asking, email notifications are not going out when orders and things like that have been pushed through. So you have to come into your shopping cart, come over here into the options tab, and then look over here for notifications. There are notifications that are set, email notifications. So the drop-down list here shows you client order information, payment confirmation. All of these things need to be set up. If these things are blank, you will not receive any emails. Okay, so these things all need to be set up. There are placeholders here. You can copy and paste all this kind of stuff into the information. So this is what needs to be set up. These are notifications, and again, the other features have the same type of thing. If your notifications are blank, nothing will go out. So that needs to be done in order for the notifications to be sent. You back with us, Samir?
Yes, sir. I sure am. Thanks, Nick. So Mark wants to know, can we get video tutorials for all of the features, including yellow pages? The answer is yes. Like you were saying, Nick, many of the features have been explained already in the tutorials section in YouTube, and we're adding more and more to them. But you can always refer to the other side that we just talked about. Okay, so then Trevor has a question. Why is it still not possible to change tutorial URLs and support URLs?
There was a bug. It's resolved. You can fix it. You can do that now.
Okay, so this was in fact something that we resolved. Now, okay, how does the queuing system work?
So the concept of the queue system basically is it's a get in line feature, like get in line right through the app. So busy locations, it's for hair salons, busy locations, instead of having your customers, 50, 25, 30 customers coming, sitting in your lobby area and waiting around, mulling around until their turn comes up. You can actually, as a business owner, you can, the queue is over here, you can create a location, right, on an address, and then set up an area around your business. And when people come inside the area, they will be able to get into line. So right through the app, they can join the queue, and then the system will know that, hey, Nick or Samir got into line at 2:25 p.m. Nick got into line at 2:30, so Samir is ahead of Nick. And then what he's going to have to do, basically, the system will automatically queue these people up. So the next, as the stylists on their version of the app basically say when they're available, the next guy in the queue is called and they're sent a push notification saying, hey, your turn's coming up. Please be back at the salon in the next 15, 20 minutes. Those messages are all customizable here. So it's essentially a get in line feature. I will be making a more detailed video on how to set it up very soon, but that's what it does. It allows users of busy, high volume locations to get into line and not have to sit around and wait for in a hair salon for 2 or 3 hours.
Okay, so well, 1, 2, 3, 4 questions now from Simeon Bass. I'll just take them one after the other. Are the tags created for the client's accounts supposed to be showing in their profile? Even if I disable all elements in the user's profile, all tags I created from the dashboard show, and the user can select the tags I created. I then disabled and enabled, profiled from build app in the admin section, but I can no longer find the profile on the client's dashboard.
So the answer to the question, tags are a way to segment your database when sending a push notification. So yes, and they're there by design in the user's profile screen. So whatever tag you create will be showing in the user's profile screen. That allows the user to say, you know what, I want to be part of this tag. If I'm a hair salon and I got, Alberto VO5, that's my favorite brand of, shampoo or whatever. I can say, you know what, whenever you guys get a new product, send me this notifications on this this product or that product. So that's what the tags are there in their profiles for. Customers have the ability to select. You, as the owner of the business, also can go in and let me just put a tag here. So let's go demo tag. Show you, it's created a demo tag. You, as the business owner, can go into the customer list here as well. Click on the customer profile and then show the details here, and then in the tags area you can just select the tag as well. You can tag them manually as well.
Okay, can you demo the point and reward system, especially the manage points and points to reward sections? I'm not sure we'll be able to do an entire demo, as as far as time constraints are concerned.
Yeah.
But maybe at least
So the managed points
try to
basically, when you start building an app that's related to would be used, something like that, use the category. For example, I think retail or clothing, or that would use this kind of a thing. It's a tiered based system, so I can quickly show you how you set it up. You can call it, bronze, 0, 1,000, 5. Let me just add a couple and I'll explain it in a second. Silver. So what we've got here basically is 2 levels, bronze and silver. So this is a tiered based reward system where it's based on spend. So your customers, if you're using this reward system in your app, your customers would come in, someone that spends between $0 and $1,000 would receive a 5% rebate in their wallet. So there's a wallet section right inside the app. When they come in, let's say I came in today, I'm a brand new customer, I spent $100, I would get $5 back in my wallet. As I spend more, you can make as many levels as you want. As you spend more, you can start earning at higher levels. So this is basically design by design to ensure that your best customers earn at your highest levels. If a guy off the street comes in, he shouldn't earn the same amount as someone who spent thousands of dollars and has been a customer for years. So that's how the point system is supposed to work. How it works is basically the customer would submit a receipt via the app. There would be a submit receipt button, and then they can either take a picture of the receipt or submit. There's 4 pieces of information that we ask for. They can fill in the information and submit the receipt. When they submit a receipt, the admin, the owner of the app, would get an email saying, hey, someone submitted a receipt, can you go validate it? And it would show up right here in the back office. They would see the receipt details, and they'd be able to approve or decline. Once they hit the approve button, the customer gets a push notification saying your rewards have been added to your app, and boom, the rewards are in the wallet section of their app in real time. And right here is where you enter the emails, add IDs of the people you want to be getting emails of notifying them that there's been people submitting receipts for approval.
Okay. Can you demo the? Oh, no, sorry. I have a potential client that wants to be able to have data for a specific location. His marketers go by geotagging a form submitted as a report. I created a form that has a location as the type, but I'm getting same name of the state and country instead of the exact location. What is the use case of the current location function?
What's the question?
Trying to figure it out myself. What is the use case of the current location function?
Current location function?
Yes.
Where does that function? In the forms?
Okay, I'll read this out again. I have a potential client that wants to be able to have data for a specific location. His marketers go by geotagging a form submitted as a report. I created a form that has a location as the type, but all I'm getting is the name of the state and country instead of the exact location. What is the use case of the current location function?
I'm having a hard time understanding the question. So
all right, let's skip it. Maybe Simeon, you want to clarify that, because I also didn't exactly understand what the question is. Can you demo the membership profile? I added custom fields like name, phone number, etc. When I fill out the form from the client section and saved it, all the fields are just showing the phone number. Yes, we can quickly go through the membership profile. Let's see what we can demo.
Second, I have to turn it on. Give me 1 second. So it's over here in settings. You're able to set up basically a form. You're going to want to change the color to the form button color is black. You don't want black on black. You want white text on black letters. Hit submit. You can ask for, you can put a background image here. The width is 640 pixels wide. Once you hit submit, now over here you put manage fields, and you can set up different fields. There's only really 4 fields you can set up. So name, I believe, what else is here? So you can set up name, and then you can make custom fields 1 and 2, as well as an image. So let's say I'm gonna put your, actually you don't need their names because you have it when they download the app. So custom field will be, let's say, favorite movie, sure, favorite movie, label favorite movie. It's gonna be single line text, and it's gonna be custom 1. So now it's there. So what I've got to do is I've created a field for in this screen asking for the favorite movie of the client. So I've got to come back over here to the login settings and the profile fields. And down here, you'll see the custom field 1. You would make sure that's activated. And then this would be, favorite movie. And you hit submit. And now the information entered on that, the member profile will come into the customer's profile under the, the custom field. Does that make sense? It's basically a way for you to gather a little bit more information on your clients. It's voluntary, it's not mandatory. We're actually going to see if we can make this a little simpler to understand. It was done specifically for a specific client. This is the way they wanted it, but it is a little confusing. So I haven't seen a lot of people use it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, you can ask the questions you want to get in the profile, user profile of the app. This is just giving you a little bit more, different fields and a little different screen.
Okay. All right. We have some clarification on the earlier question about current location from Simeon. And what he's saying is that go and create a form and select location. It's under forms. When I used location and submitted the form, it came to the email is set, but it's not showing the specific location. It's not giving a specific location.
So again, the location has to be, location services on the device have to be turned on. So I can type in location here, location, and select. You've got 2 options: location where it's editable and location where it's non-editable. So when I click it on the form inside of the app, I won't be able to edit the location. So I'm going to use that and just hit active. And what happens is when you've got this form that people are filling out, you're asking for their name, their favorite movie, and their location. They would just basically tap the location icon on the phone, and the location will come from the device's GPS coordinates. If the location services on that phone are turned on. If the location services are off, obviously it will not work. It's pulling the location. So if I'm, for example, somewhere, I'm stuck in the middle of somewhere, I don't know where the address is, I can click on this button and we'll pull up my GPS coordinates, and you can send that information to the people that, the owners of the app. That's what it's for. Again, the location services need to be active for this, these features to work. If you don't give permissions to the app, it won't work.
Okay, a couple of questions from Richard. Please, Simeon is saying it was active, by the way.
We have to look into it a little further then. Maybe give him Andy's email, Samir, and then you can communicate with Andy.
Yeah. So okay. So Simeon, maybe you want to make a quick video or something like that for us to know what exactly you're facing, and send it over to me by email, and Andy can take a look at it. Okay. So Richard Collier wants to know, please explain points and reward system complete setup. Please explain yellow pages. Please explain video for users. So point and reward system, maybe quickly.
The point reward system basically is, there's nothing here. Okay, so basically it allows you to create a system based on awarding points per dollar spent. So I can create a system saying every dollar you spend, you're gonna get 10 points. Every dollar you spend, you're gonna get 12 points. That's what it's there. And then this system is a self-contained system. There's no approvals, there's nothing that needs to be done. Basically what happens is you set up a bunch of rewards. Let's say I'm an ice cream shop. I sell ice cream. I'll be a pizza place. So the business, has, a Coke soft drink could be 50 points. A pizza slice could be 150 points. A large pizza can be 500 points. So what happens is the users, as they spend money, they will get their points. They have a QR code on the app screen, and the admins of the app, when they come in, basically the user pulls out their phone saying, "Here's my phone." The admins have their version of the app. They scan the customer's QR code, enter an amount spent, $20, $30, $40, whatever the amount is. Automatically, in real time, the guy gets the points right away. The user can then accumulate the points and redeem whatever rewards are set up for the business. So whether it's a soft drink, French fries, cookies, ice cream, whatever you set up, that's what the rewards thing is. I think there is a video on the new reward system on the app admin website. Let me take a quick peek at it. Points-based, yeah, there is right here. So there's an actual video on it. So you can watch this points-based reward video, and it will take you step by step on how it works. Make sense?
Hold on, sorry, I was on mute. I'm sorry, I was just talking. Please explain Yellow Pages.
Yellow Pages is a directory listing feature. So it basically allows you to set up listings of businesses in your local area or wherever. Those businesses are able to get, put their address, their name, website, contact information. It could be displayed on a map. And then users are able to see the listing and then also post comments and give star ratings. So it's like Craigslist or, those kinds of things where you can actually set up your own directory listing and then allow users to browse through those listings and see comments and star ratings on services provided. Local plumbers, carpenters, any kind of service, any kind of thing that you would find in a directory listing or Yellow Pages type feature can be set up this way. Additionally, we are working now on functionality. It's ready, but it's not responsive yet. It doesn't look good inside of the apps, but it is ready where you will have permissions. For example, I'll show you here. Where's the feature? Yellow Pages. You have the ability to allow users to submit their own listing. So let's say you set up the Yellow Pages feature in your app. I click on it, you call it, local businesses or local listing, whatever. I click on it, the feature opens up. I would be able to say, let's say I'm a plumber, I'd be able to submit my own listing if you turn this thing to on. If it's no, then I wouldn't be able to. If it's on, if it's yes, I would be able to submit my own listing. And then you'd be able to approve it. So again, right here, are the user accounts confirmed by default? If this was yes, nothing needs to be done by you. If it's no, then you have to go in, you have to approve their accounts. So if you allow that, now people can start using the app, putting their own stuff on there, and really growing this feature virally, because they can create their own listings, and you can bring a lot of value to this feature. So that's coming. It's there, but it's just not configured well inside of the app platform. But it's coming in hopefully the next week or 10 days.
Okay, so Michael has a backup question. Can the Yellow Pages directory be put on the web page or a web page?
Yes, it can. There will be a link. It's not there at the bottom, but once this is completed, we'll have a link here that you'll have a URL for that feature.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Michael, so that was great. I mean, we were talking about a question and, you just post exactly there, and so it can be answered at the right time, same time. It's amazing. That's real time. That's great stuff. Okay, Richard wants to know, please explain video for users. I actually don't understand what this means. Please explain video for users.
Video for users are connected with the Clientele feature. The Clientele feature, if you don't have your SMS connected, it won't work. Basically, the Clientele feature allows you to communicate with your clients via text messaging, not by push notifications. So your clients would all be listed in the client section in the app. You're able to send, so let's click on this person here. I would be able to send media. If I click on media, I can send photos and videos. This is also available through a tab that staff would have access to. So you'd be able to create something called, Clientele or My Little Black Book or whatever, and when only available to staff members. So you'd set up your employees in the employee schedule, and those employees that are set up here would have access to this tab. So they're able to send photos and videos right via text message to the business's clients. And the beauty of this thing is that if you have staff that are good salespeople, you get them using the system, all of the communication history between your staff and your clients are housed in the back office. So if you had a really superstar salesperson and that guy leaves for one of your competition, he takes his own cell phone with him, but he's not taking the platform with him. You can disable him and he will no longer have access to these clients. He will no longer have access to any of the communications. If you're not using something like this, if your staff are using their own cell phones to communicate with your clients, then when they leave, that information leaves with them. So this is what it's there for. The videos for users, basically, you're able to send pictures through the text message. So if I send you an image, that will go right into a text. So the actual client doesn't even have to have the app installed on their device. You're able to basically send text messages and images right via the text messaging system in the client's device. Videos, you are able to send videos, but because the size of the video files are much bigger, you can't send that through a text message. So that would mean you would have to create a tab on your home screen of your app saying, videos for users, or call it media, or call it whatever you want. And when they click on it, the videos that you send will show up for that specific person inside of their app. So if I'm sending a video to you, Samir, in your app, when you click videos for users on the home screen, only you will see that video. No other client will see it. Right? So it's a direct one-on-one communication between staff and clientele.
All right, awesome. Okay, so then Heike has a question. Hi, Heike, by the way. Grüß dich. Does the appointment booking feature synchronize with an existing calendar? It's actually an independent system.
No, it's standalone at this point.
Yeah, okay. I mean, if I add several employees who already have appointments in their calendars, not from the app, how can these appointments be taken into account? Is there a way to link the app's calendar to an employee or Google Calendar? Not yet.
The appointment booking system is basically allows you, again, if you're setting up for a hair salon, for example, all of the people all your stylists would have their own staff login where they would see their own calendar. So they wouldn't need an external calendar. So you can see again here, service provider login. So this is the login that would show up for the service, your staff. And that can be embedded inside the app as well. So, if you have 15, 20 different stylists, each one of them will have their own calendar and they can check their phone and they can see, who do I have scheduled today? What's tomorrow's schedule? All that kind of stuff can be seen right through the app. So, but it does not connect to a third-party calendar at this point. No.
Right. Michael wants to know when this will be available. I don't think we are planning on making this available unless if there is enough demand for this feature to be included as a feature that you guys want to have custom built and made
feature?
Of linking this to third-party calendars. I don't know if this is something that we
not on the roadmap right now.
Not on the roadmap right now, but I mean we can consider it. I mean if there's enough demand for it.
If there's demand, obviously.
Yeah, obviously this will come at a cost because this is a custom development, but we don't have this right now. Okay, let's go further. Margaret wants to know when are we getting container apps? Yes, now. If you want them, you can just tell me or tell us which.
You have to set the app up in your back office, then we can convert it.
Correct, like we were talking about earlier. So just choose one app and really convert it into a container app for you. So one-way conversion. When are we getting the chat function?
The development team has been working on it. There are a few bugs. Can't release it until it's bug-free. So as soon as it's bug-free, it'll be available.
Okay, hopefully soon. Will there be training on the SMS function? Yes, the answer is yes, and it's a long-winded question. I don't know if you have another question that talks about SMS and Twilio. So yeah, go for it. Go for it, Nick.
What's the question?
Will there be training on the SMS function?
Well, we'll provide training videos on all the features. The SMS function is going to be available. Yeah, but again, it requires integration with Twilio. So you would need to set up your own Twilio account and You have to pay Twilio for text credits. I think if you're based in the US and Canada, the credit cost is very cheap. I know that we've got customers in Australia, and the credit costs are very expensive. It's like 5 cents per text credit in Australia. Here in the US, it's under half a cent or half a cent per credit. So it's a huge difference. But yeah, you need your own Twilio account. Once that's connected, then the SMS functionality would work along with your clientele and anything else that's SMS related.
Correct. I mean, there is a bit of customization required on your own part as to how your account gets integrated and connected for this to work. But I think we'll talk about SMS and Twilio a bit later, so we can talk about that. The rest of it is true. No, it was never stated on the sales page that there would be unlimited container apps with unlimited apps in them. This is the one that I was referring to. Yes, it can be expanded later, but additional apps come at a cost. Okay, Heike wants to know, please clarify again the cost related to app submission to the Apple Store.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Please clarify again the costs related to the app submission to the Apple App Store.
So there's the Apple submissions costs are two. One is to Apple, $99 annually. You pay that directly to Apple for each app you submit. That has nothing to do with that. Those are Apple rules. There's absolutely no way around that. No matter if you're building an app with our system, with any other system builder. If you're building Facebook, Facebook has to pay Apple $99 a year to have their app on the App Store. No way around that. There is a $50 fee that we charge for submissions. There is a process. It takes us, someone from our team about 2 to 3 hours to compile the code and get the screenshots and put all the stuff into the Apple system the way that it's required. So there is a $50 fee that you pay on each submission to us. Those are the only costs involved with Apple.
All right. Okay, Naresh has quite a few questions on. So Naresh says, we've tested the shopping cart feature and found below issues. Email is not working for payment confirmation for the buyer.
Yes.
Email not working for order and payment confirmation for seller. Hold on, let me just go through it. Email not working for order and payment confirmation for guest buyer. Unable to understand how app login workflow works. Appreciate your help and clarification. Well, I think these are setup issues and not.
Yes.
So okay, go ahead.
Let me show you. So you can see in this demo I just created, this is all the features here are working, right? So if I click on everything works here. However, if I go back here and I create, and let me look at my user profile here. The profile is, if I use this to create an app, if you use your existing app email credentials to create an app, it will cause those broken links to happen. You must, should I say it more times? You must, 100 musts, create a unique email here. Over here and over here, there must be a unique email, even if it's a fake email. If you're testing stuff, it cannot be an existing email. It will create problems. We've got 100 tickets from people saying, my thing doesn't work. Let me explain something about code to you guys. I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little frustrated. If code works one time for one person, the code is set up correctly. If it doesn't work for you, you've done something wrong, because 100 people, other people have used it, 1,000 people have used it, and it works. You've done something wrong, and what you've done wrong is you're using an email address that's creating a conflict. Again, you must have a unique email address in the setup here. If you don't, it will cause problems. It will not allow you to, all these things will happen. So you must have again, like I said, it can be a fake email. It doesn't have to be real. You can say, test1237 whatever at gmail.com, but it must be unique. But keep in mind, if you're using test123 at gmail.com, 50 other people in our system may be using the same test123, and that may be the issue. So there are the infrastructure, the database is one database, and it's partitioned off for everybody else. So you have your own version of AppsKitPro, Samir has his own version, everyone has their own version. So that may be an issue. You may say, okay, well, I didn't use my email address for this. I used test123@gmail.com. If someone else out of the 3,000 people that are resellers have used that email, that's where the issue is created. So again, try and keep these things as unique. I mean, if you've got your own emails the setup, it's even better that there's no issues there. So keep it as unique as possible. Generic ones like test123@gmail.com may be used. So keep that in mind. That's where the issues arise. You can see on our system, everything works fine. I mean, I know that it's frustrating for you guys because you may not be aware of these things. And again, trying to explain it. And we've said this on every single webinar that we've done. I write at the top usually saying this is how you set it up. This is what needs to be done. People say, I've watched the webinars and I haven't gotten any instructions. Go back and watch it and look for the areas where we said it. We're 55 minutes into this one. And again, I'm stressing it. It has to be a unique email address. It works for us. I'm showing everyone here. Every single thing works on our system. If it's not working on yours, you've done something wrong. And that something is the email address. Again, if you've got something that's having broken links, we've seen some of those in the Facebook page. Create a new app with a new email address and check and see if it works on that new app. So if it does, you understand where the issue is coming up.
All right. Okay. So Michael wants to know, could you do a demo of the restaurant booking feature, booking a table reservation, not food ordering? I've been attempting to set this up, emails without success. Now, I believe, and keep me honest here, Nick, didn't we do this the last Q&A session?
I believe we did do it in the last Q&A section. Yeah,
I think you even walked through this. So I think Michael, yeah.
There's also a video here on the reservations. If you on the app admin site, let me see if I can reservations. There it is right there, restaurant booking. See it? There's a full video here. You can watch that to your heart's content.
Okay. So Ibrahim has a few questions. When a customer orders from the cart, the customer receives an email, but the seller does not receive any email. How to solve this?
Again, shopping cart's right here. You go to your options, you go to your notifications, and then you would see here, email notifications. This needs to be set up. If the admin order confirmation email is blank, the admins won't get an email. If it's got text in here, they will get an email. So there has to be, you see there's client order information, client, admin. Those need to be filled out.
Okay. What should be chosen in the cart option? Select email sending method, PHP or SMTP?
So if you have your own SMTP server thing, you can select SMTP and put your own credentials in here. That's fine. We've got a generic one, so you can leave it as PHP and do nothing, and the system will do it for you. But if you want to use your own, you can do that as well.
Okay. Is it possible to have a static header and footer that will always be visible even when scrolling, similar to e-commerce apps?
No.
I don't think so, no.
This version of thing, I know that there's some new stuff that the other guys are working on, but not here.
Okay, is it possible to have a first screen for choosing a language? For example, when the client starts the app, he or she will see a screen with language options and then choose the preferred language. No, that's not possible.
Yeah, no, this language this is not a bilingual app. This is a one language app. You need to pick your language, whatever language it is, that's the language it's going to be. It's in the configure app section. Your language is here. Whatever language you pick, that's the language the app's going to be in. Customers cannot pick.
Okay. First screen. Okay, multi-layered home screen. I talked about it earlier, and we did have an intense discussion about this, within the team as well. This is a Mass Mobile Apps feature, paid by those guys, and so the only way we can make this possible is that if there's enough demand, and there seems to be, I think you guys need to get together and we need to discuss the cost position with you. And then, we can release this for AppsKitPro as well if there's enough demand for it. But obviously, this will be a cost, and this is not something that goes straight into our pockets. But basically, the mass mobile people basically benefit from this because their unit cost position goes down because the pool then taking this becomes bigger. If you, I mean, I think you get the dynamics of what I'm talking about. Basically, for us to release this for AppsKitPro, there'll be a cost involved. So, if one of you wants to come forward and say, we want this feature and we want this for sure, we can discuss the costing for that. Okay, is it possible to have a carousel feature in the home screen?
We have the ability for videos. So you can use a MP4, create a little video, and have the carousel feature on the video screen. So let me show you, for example, on the home screen, in the add new here, we have a library here, and if you select videos, you'll see a bunch of videos here. These videos can be put as placeholders on the top of the app. So you can say, I want to select this, and I hit select and give it a function. So when people touch the video, it goes to the shopping cart, the scratch cart. So the scratch cart, for example. So if I hit active now at the top of this app, there's going to be this video. It's a looping video. It's always going. You can make your own video and upload it into the system. Maximum of 9-10 seconds. Otherwise, it won't play, and then it'll continue looping, and so you can use that as a carousel.
Okay. Could you please explain what the redeem button does, top right, on the redeem reward screen, and how it works?
So that's for if you've got money inside of your app, rewards inside your app. You have $10 available to spend. You can redeem it right through the app without having to come in the back office. The admins would know the password. They would hit the redeem button, enter a password, tell the system how much money. If I'm spending $10, it'll put the amount in and take the money right out of the wallet immediately.
Okay. Is it possible to have GIFs on the home screen?
No.
Okay, good. Good. Raj is asking, is it possible to restrict certain features allowed to logins?
For admins, I mean, for the app owners?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you turn things on and off, like I just went and turned on the member feature, it wasn't here before. If you turn a feature off in your main panel, it won't be available here.
Okay. Nadir wants to know, is it possible to translate the dashboard of a client in another language? The same thing for booking a restaurant and food ordering, the application. I think we talked about this earlier. Dashboard of a client in another language.
No, the dashboard, the apps have 5 different languages. The dashboard is all in English at this point.
Okay, but this is, if you want another language other than the 5 that we have, which are English, German, French, Spanish, and French.
And Italian.
No, and Italian, yes, exactly. That's what I'm wondering what I was missing. Okay, yes. So if there is another language that's needed, so it's the cost point of including a language somewhere between $700 to $1,000 for us to include a language, an additional language into AppsKitPro. All right. So Eric wants to know. I'm getting an echo here. Is that? Do you want to go on mute? How to add a domain name in edit profile? When I try to do this, an error message shows that my email address is not correct because the add symbol. Yeah. So yeah, this is
we fixed this. This was a big issue with the JB Zoo when these things were being sold. We fixed it now, but we've made this non-editable, so you can't fix this. We have to fix it for you. So send us again. I know that the support thing's backed up. Samir, maybe you can provide him Andy's email, and he can just go in there and fix it for him. Once you fix this email, make it a proper email, then you'll be able to update your domain. And people, while we're here, again, I've had a few tickets, people asking about their domain. Please, 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 please put your own domain in here. Do not use the AppsKitPro. That will cause more conflicts. AppsKitPro is being used by AppsKitPro. Use your own domain. It's $10 or $20 to create a domain, buy a domain name. Buy a domain name, it's yours, it's unique. Nobody else in the world will have it. This is the fingerprint that is used by Google along with the name of your app to identify your apps. Apps have to be identifiable, and this is what Google uses for their fingerprint. If it's not correct, if you add something now that's 123.com and you change it later, you will have issues with the apps you've created with this domain name. So once you've got a domain, put it in there, and then do not ever change it. Do not ever change it, because you won't be able to update your old apps, and it will cost many hundreds of dollars for us to go back in there and do all this stuff and fix it all for you. So please put a domain name in there and do not change it.
Okay. Mark wants tutorial videos on all features. Yes, many of them are there, but more are coming. Okay, so hold on. Michael wants to know, how can I set up my browser to be able to use the food ordering feature? I get these error messages most of the time.
What
There
are
are two
messages?
screenshots. There are two screenshots here in Chrome. Hold on. Gosh, hold on.
I know that while you're looking at that, Samir, there's been a lot of tickets about the browser issues. Some people aren't able to use it on certain browsers, and they're getting different types of like timeout issues. If you're getting a timeout issue, that's because we don't support Safari. For some reason, the system doesn't work on Safari browsers, so don't use Safari right off the top of the back. It works on Google, it works on Chrome, and Firefox, 100%, and Edge, Microsoft Edge. All three browsers support it. It works fine, perfectly on all those three browsers with no issues. So if you're having issues using Chrome or Firefox, it's got to be some sort of extension that you have that's blocking the usage. Try an incognito browser, and it should work. But it does definitely 100% work on Chrome and Firefox and Edge.
Okay. This chat is closed down on me. Is there a question that you can take while I open this up again?
Another question. Let me see. Yes. That's all the ones I have written down. Domain name, explain it. So we just went over the domain name. Someone had asked earlier in a ticket in the marketing material, why don't IASC generate a poster? So when I'm trying to add like for example, add a poster, you have to have an app created. If you've got no apps created, you won't be able to generate a poster. If this is blank, it won't work. So that's number one. If there's no apps, you cannot create marketing material for it.
Okay, I have a question here from Jaime. How to implement question answer type of functionality? For example, multiple choice questions, riddles, or even flip boxes when the answer appears after pressing the question.
After what?
Second part of this, after pressing the question. Or after
so you can create forms. You use the form builder to create your own questions and surveys and things like that. You can use the form builder.
Okay. The second part of this would be acknowledging correct answers and then scrolling. Or does this all need to be done via underlying website functionality?
Acknowledging correct answers and scrolling?
Yes. And then scoring. I'm sorry, I might have said scrolling. A second part of this would be acknowledging correct answers and then scoring. Or does this all need to be done?
These forms are internal forms that are, so you can set up a survey, ask 100 questions. All those forms, all those questions will be compiled. The answers, you can get them in a report internally in the back office. You can't set up a questionnaire, for example, what's 1 + 1? And if the person pushes 2, they get a right, right. The answer comes up saying, yes, you're right. No, that's not the way the forms are built. It's not interactive. It's gathering information.
Okay. Then Joseph Gregory, Francisco Otmar, obviously, wants to know, I saw manage SMS plan is available. How does it work? Tutorial would be good. Yes, that might be a very good idea.
Yeah, I think that's for the other guys. We will have to check into that. It shouldn't be here. I see it here. It's here as well. But we'll look into that, and we'll talk about SMS once we've figured it out here.
Okay. Maybe a good time to show time slot booking step by step. I see that, for example, when I enter in options and company details, if my details do not say stay, it changes back to the original dummy text.
Here you go, guys. It's impossible to get into a 30-minute thing on an explanation on a feature. please look at the resources that we've got for you. Time slot booking is explained in detail in this video on the App Admin site.
When creating a new app, the options tutorial URL and support URL cannot be changed. Goes back to original link of AppsKitPro
You
URL.
already asked the question.
Yes, I did. Yes. Between user, okay, chat function, we talked about that as well. Yes, Andrew Harrison wants to know if we want some additional custom development done, is it possible to get a code and how do we go about it? Reach out to me, ideally by messenger, and ask exactly what you want to get built, and then I can circle back with the team. I think a good idea to do something to do is start a group with myself and with Nick Gorga, because Nick can also help, as far as if I'm not available or whatever, to interface with the support team. So make a quick chat there on Facebook Messenger, describe what you're looking for, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, Triggerway wants to know, can I route between different home screens with the multifunction tool?
Can you do what?
Can I route between?
Well, we don't have that feature, so yeah, multi-screen, we don't have that feature, so there's no point in talking about it.
Okay, I know why I'm talking about it. I've been creating small church. Daniel Thomas Chandra wants to know, will AppsKitPro focus on community and organizational features? I'm focusing on creating apps for small church and community as my niche. So we already have many features that cater to this functionality, but I don't think the idea is to focus on this niche. I mean, there are many functions that we provide that are a perfect fit for creating apps for small church and communities like you want to do. If you have certain specific features in mind or something like that, yeah, please feel free to comment right below your post, and then we take it from there. Okay, it would be really helpful, Veer says, if the directory features is explained in a bit more detail in terms of designing and creating a new directory app.
Say that again, what was the question?
The directory feature, if it would be explained in a bit more detail in terms of designing and creating a new directory app.
It's not very complicated. Let me show you 1 second here. So again, go to basically, you've got your listings, right? You can add a listing. You can import listings. Okay, if you're importing a listing, you need to import the listing with the listings data. Please add a listing manually. You basically need to do the same format, okay, as the system requests it. Listing, so it's pretty simple. You're adding a listing, and you've got categories. So the categories are in the options right here. These are all the categories that when you start with this thing, it comes with like 100 different categories. You can just select everything and delete everything, right? Delete all the stuff and start fresh with your own categories, or you can use this. You can select some and delete some. It's totally up to you. So you've got your different categories here. You create a listing, and that's it. There's really not a lot to do. I've got a listing here. I could go to the edit button, and I can put the details down. It could be, best dog walker, give a description, put it into a category, add some photos, put the address down, address information down here, contact information, and that's it. It's not very complicated. And I guess I understand coming from someone that knows the platform, and when you don't know something, I understand it's kind of foreign to you. So but it's not a complicated task. The best way to, for me, I'm the kind of person that I don't like reading books and even watching stuff for too long because my attention span is a little slow. I just like to jump in there and test things, try things. So I just go in here, and you're not going to break anything. So just go in, fiddle around with it. But again, the Yellow Pages thing is very, very simple to use. You've got your listings, you've got your categories. You add a listing if it's a plumber, you put them in the plumber category or home improvements category, and fill out these details, and you're done. To get it on the home screen, again, the home screen is in the settings area. You click on the home screen, add your image, and then over here you assign change functions. I just click on an area and say I want this to be the yellow pages. I just come down here and say yellow page. That's it. So now when anyone touches this area on the phone, on the screen, it's going to go to yellow pages. Right? It's not a complicated setup process at all. Again, watch a couple of the videos. Those quick start videos that were done were really, really good. Great for beginners. Once you guys understand the platform, it's it's pretty easy to go through. There is a lot of stuff here, so it's not easy in the sense that click a few buttons and you have your app. This is a tool that provides you the ability to build a custom app. So really, what would cost you tens of thousands of dollars from a developer, you can build with this system. But that being said, there's a lot in the system. It's not just like, again, a digital punch card and put my logo and my name here and it's done. Voila. Those kind of apps are no longer being approved by Apple. You won't even get those apps approved. Apple created this. It was a big issue a couple of years ago with 4.2.6. I'm not sure if anyone in this group knows about that, but Apple stopped all of their development with stop all of approvals for any app generation service. So meaning a tool like this, they were not approving any apps. We've never had an issue with app approvals, by the way, but they stopped. Like there's a couple of big guys in this in the industry. One's Business Apps. You guys probably heard of them. They are charging $300 to $400 a month for their platform, and they give you 10 apps for it. But they actually got out of the Apple business for a short time because Apple wouldn't approve any of their apps. Because their apps were cookie cutter, really junky looking, and that's how we actually came about this kind of functionality, because they didn't want apps with templated builds. They didn't want a company out there to make 500 apps that all look the same with different logos. So to make a long story short, this is an intensive tool, but once you understand it, once you understand the flow, it will become easier over time. So just keep playing with it. Give us a little bit of time. We're trying to get caught up on the support tickets. We're looking at a different support desk as well, so that may help a little bit better. We'll bring 3 more agents on, but it will for what you're getting, you will be happy with the purchase.
Okay. Bambi wants to know what's the timeline estimate of how long we have to wait till all the bugs are rectified in the platform.
Well, there's no bugs. There's been thousands of apps created, so the app system is working. If there is an issue, again, it could be user error the way it's been set up. All the bugs that are in the system, they're have been identified and they're pretty much all resolved. There may be, I think I've checked 5-10 maximum. Again, little small things, cosmetic things. But nothing major that's would cause the app not to function. So there are no bugs per se that would constrict you from submitting and publishing and getting an app live. There is a learning curve here, and again, like people not having the ability, setting things up correctly, that may be the causes of issues, but there are no bugs in that kind of a sense.
Okay, yes, and the thing to remember is that this platform, or the core of the engine of the platform, has been around for 4 years. This wasn't developed day before yesterday and rolled out to the market. So a lot of the quote unquote bugs have been removed, resolved, etc. In this long time the software has been in use, which is why this is also a mature product and a finished one, and not an unfinished product that is being provided to the market here. So I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page as far as that is concerned. Okay, John wants to know, will there be a Twilio integration?
There is already.
Already, yes. So, and Margaret wants to know, directed to me, do we need a Twilio account for each client app or just one? And are we in the cost? There's something missing here. And are we getting the client, or are we invoicing the client for the costs? Is I think what is intended to be.
So you, as the reseller or the app creator, would get your Twilio account, and that one Twilio account will service all of your clients. So when one of your clients, that's what you would set up packages. So you would buy credits from Twilio, for example, for half a cent, and you would sell them to your clients for whatever you want to sell them, 1 cent, 5 cents. Do a little bit of research. I think the average text messaging platform sells app credits for about 5 cents per credit. So you've got a lot of room to make a profit on selling text credits as well. So you just set up your Twilio account, and any app that you sell internally would all be serviced by the same account. Now, that being said, with the clientele feature has two-way communication where you're able to send your customers a text, and your customers can reply to that same text message saying, oh, I love that new sweater that came in, hold size small for me. So that being said, when you set up the clientele, you will need to buy a dedicated phone number for each app. A dedicated phone number from Twilio costs $12 a year. So again, it's pass the cost on to your client. You can even mark it up, but they'll have if you sell the clientele feature to Sally's clothing store or whatever, they would have their own local phone number that their clients would be able to communicate with for themselves.
Okay. Philip says, I'm intending to create an app for a voluntary organization and was wondering how to set up an option within the menu where people could subscribe to the organization through the app. Would it be PayPal or Stripe? It is very difficult to get this option up and running. Perhaps you or Nick have other options that I could use for this project.
I don't understand the question. Subscribe to the organization in what manner? What's subscription? Is he looking for like fundraising or something, or? I don't understand. When you download the app, you enter your email address, you become a user. You have access like this of all the clients that downloaded your app. I don't understand the question. Do you?
No, I'm struggling as well. So would it be PayPal, Stripe? Anyway, Philip, if you're listening to this, maybe you want to back this up with some clarification here. That would be awesome. Sims says, I'm happy. AppsKitPro can help with submitting the iOS apps. Can we please upload our own iOS apps? Okay, so I don't know if
that'll
that's
never happen. Never. It's never going to happen. We would have to release our entire source code, and that will never happen at no matter what costs. So no.
Obviously not. Yeah. Okay. Then. What exactly, George wants to know, what exactly do we hand over to the clients after we develop their app? How do they fire it up? And how do we test the app before handing it over?
So what you hand to your client is okay. So again, it was mentioned in one of the earlier trainings, but this is your dashboard as an AppsKitPro client. You are a reseller. You have the ability to sell apps to other businesses, right? So I've created here, these 3 apps have been created. Your client has this access. So we see the login button here. When you click this button, this login screen from the word dashboard all the way down, whatever features they've got are what your clients see. Your clients don't see the back panel, right? Your clients see all of this stuff. They can manage the app. They can see their customers. They can send push notifications. They can do all that stuff right here. How they get access to it is over here in the manage your app list here, this little mail icon. You click that icon and it will send them an email with their client information. Where do you set that up? In the automatic email content right here. So we've got the reseller welcome mail, the outlet welcome mail. You need to come in here and edit this information because I think it comes with default with AppsKitPro info here. So come in here, delete the AppsKit logo, put your own logo in here, put your own information, whatever custom message you want to give your clients. Their username is right here. The placeholder is username, the password, their name, the URL link for where they would click to access their back office is right here. Paste all that stuff into the body of the email, update it, tell this who it's coming from, the email it's coming from, hit submit, and that's what your customers will see when they get the welcome email. Like you guys got the welcome email from AppsKit, your customers will get a welcome email from you. So all you gotta do is build the app and hit this icon and boom, they get their welcome mail with all of their information there.
Okay. Do 1 or 2 more because I just want to be respectful of everybody's time. We planned this for 1 hour. We are already running a bit over. Mike wants to know, does AppsKitPro integrate with my solution? We integrate with all top autoresponders. I'm missing a part of this question. Container app. Which allows you to connect servers.
I saw a question there. Sorry, I'll jump while you're looking.
Yeah, please go ahead.
For gift cards, how you turn off the national cards. The national cards is not available for AppsKitPro, so don't even bother. All you're doing is coming over here and just turn off the rebate feature. And once that's off, you'll only be local cards available. So make sure that's turned off, and you're good to go with the gift card area.
Okay. So then text social, can we import API for Yellow Pages?
Can you import API?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Import an API?
I don't know.
You can't import an API. You have to build and write an API and connect. APIs can be done, but there's a cost involved. But there's no import. You can't import an API. It doesn't make any sense.
In the UK, you can use an API, is what the explanation is.
You can use APIs. You cannot import an API. You can add an API. So if there's a different API stands for Application Protocol Interface. That lets one piece of software talk to another piece of software seamlessly. So if there's another third-party software out there that you want to connect to, we can write an API to connect to that software. Yes, that is possible, but there is a cost involved. Okay. And that's case by case. I can't give you. No one can give you, an answer. We can need to connect with the people that we're connecting to, as long as they're cooperative. Basically, we'll have to put a code together on a case by case basis. How long will it take us to code? But absolutely.
Okay. All right. For the Tech Social Business Directory UK, will the taxi app have GPS?
Will what?
Will the taxi app?
No, it's not. It's not going to be. It's the taxi app basically is a booking feature for cars. It's not going to show where your car is or anything like that. It doesn't show that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. So let's do one last one very quickly. Michael Drummond is active. If we can create an app, then delete it, can we create a new app using the same email and website?
Again, over here in the create section, I'm not even 100% sure on that, to be honest with you. It may cause problems. I'm not sure. It may not. These emails are stored in the database structure of the system. So if you delete it, I'm not sure if it. The only way is to test it. To be quite honest with you, I'm not sure if I delete it and create it again, what would happen. But test it and see. I apologize.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge because the email is already going to be in the database, and I don't think we have accounted for the fact that that it gets deleted once it's been used.
You can edit. Yeah, you can edit. For example, you can create a test one. So right here, when you create the app, you can put abc123@gmail.com, whatever. You can change this information later. So if you don't have, like, say you sold an app to a customer and you don't have their email, you can create a dummy email here, and then when you do get their email information, you can come back here and change it. That's absolutely possible. But I'm not sure if you do. I think it should be okay. If you delete it, it shouldn't be an issue. But you'll find out right away when you do it.
Okay. All right. I'll just take one last comment because this is something that is really close to my heart. I need to respond to this because I don't want to just let this pass. Mike states, can you talk about why the sales page seems to infer that this has been a well-tested and finished product, but still seems to be put together? Bambi is very appreciative of this comment. Well, if anybody has the impression this is just been created day before yesterday and is being released and still needs to be put together, I respectfully disagree with that assessment, and I need to say this seriously. This is a mature platform that's made millions of dollars for people, and it works and functions. You just need to get used to it and accustomed to it a bit. And once you know the platform, once you've spent some time with it, it's very intuitive and very easy to do. And the sales page infers exactly that. If this is too complicated for you, maybe this platform is not for you. And I just need to say this really, really plainly. But to continue to infer that this is some kind of an unfinished product, I don't think I need to, anybody over here in the team wants to subscribe to that opinion. I'm sorry, I'm being really straight up, because if you think it's an unfinished product, then really this is something that at least I don't want to. I don't want to subscribe to as an opinion, and I'm sorry, I might be sounding cut up or whatever about this, but I don't want to take these comments, and I'm not going to delete these comments because I want to have a very open discussion in this group, but I just also don't want to sit in these comments. I can only tell you that I take serious exception to this. Go ahead, Nick.
To address it as well, Samir, the issue I think is the vastness of the platform may have been underestimated. Again, it is a do-it-yourself app building platform, and it doesn't require you to know any kind of technical code. But there's a lot here, and that's what I said a little bit earlier. It does take a little bit of time to learn. I mean, anything that you jump into, it does take a little bit of time to learn, no doubt about it. And that may be the frustration of some of the people that come in and are used to other really simple and things easy to do kind of things that they purchased. This is simple once you know it. If you don't know it, it's going to be like Chinese. It's going to be very difficult for you to understand. You need to understand the flow. Once you understand the way things are done, it's pretty easy. Just a quick go over what I'm going to show you. The main thing is when you are building the apps, make sure you select a category. Right? If you don't see a category here that you like, pick one that's close, and then you can edit it. But if you select the category, a lot of the stuff will come pre-done, like the loyalty points, like the punch cards, like those kinds of things will come preset. All you need to do is edit them at that point. You're not having to build them from scratch. If you start from scratch, nothing comes turned on. You have 0 in the database, and you have to build everything from the start. But if you pick one of these categories and start from there, it gives you a base, and all you're doing is editing the information. So like if you picked a cafe, I think the emails are set up with coffee shop image on it, and saying you're welcome to your coffee shop or whatever. That kind of stuff is already done. All you're doing is going in there and editing all the stuff. So yeah, it's not a difficult process, but sometimes people get overwhelmed and looking out. If there's 50 features, and how come people are asking questions, and how come this doesn't work? And you look in their account, they have no apps built, or they have one app built and it's not even the same thing, and they're like quality control testing out all this stuff. Build the app, sell the app, make some money, and if there's a problem, address the problem. Let's not, like Samir said, this is not something that we just worked on for the last 6 months and we released it on the sale. This is a platform that is mature. There's been thousands of apps published through it, we're out here to make sure you're successful. When you start making money selling apps, you have an issue with a thing, let's address it at that point. But let's not come in here and look. I mean, any system I have a Microsoft computer. I use Microsoft. Every single day I need to restart my computer because all of a sudden the bloody computer starts acting a little bit buggy. This happens, that happens, something doesn't work. This is Microsoft, which is a $100 billion company, and their products don't work all the time. So it's technology. It's not ever going to be perfect. We're never going to sit here and lie to you. Say there's never going to be a time where everything is functional. Yeah, some things will happen. My system requires a reboot. You may require log out, log back in, those kinds of things, but the system works. And the goal is get out there, sell some apps, make some money, and then if you find some issues, let's address those issues together. Let's not worry about, oh, my dashboard doesn't say I have OTO 1 is not showing here. I should have OTO 2. It's really irrelevant. Get out there, sell some apps, make some money, and become successful. And let's make you a poster boy for AppsKitPro, and we'll use your story on our system.
Okay. All right. There is a comment from Michael Drummond, and he has a great sense of timing. So I'm just There is, I'm really going to just take this. Does Nick recognize these errors? I can't use the food ordering feature. Could you just head over quickly to the group, please?
The food ordering system?
Yes, yes. Does Nick recognize these errors? I believe this is what you just posted. Michael, I just want to have this addressed before we wrap it up.
You want me to show you how to set it up?
No, not to set it up. But can you recognize these errors? You sent a screenshot. For Chrome, there are some errors that are coming through. I think, are you in the group right now, Nick?
I'm sorry?
Are you in the, can you view the Facebook group right now? If not, then here's what I suggest we do. Maybe we take a look at these screenshots and maybe we can respond to Michael.
If it's those broken links, I think I saw those. We've explained this, but I spent 3 or 4 minutes explaining it. The broken links are because of email errors. Just set up a new one, Michael. Set up a whole new app with a whole new thing with a unique email, and see your features will work. Excuse me. I'm showing you in our system everything. Like you can see that this is not a video recording. This is not a cartoon. This is a live system. Everything works. So if it's not working for you, you probably set something incorrectly. Just start from scratch with a whole new email address for the app.
All right, great. Just like to finish up with a comment from Annette Star Tony or a post, which I'm just going to approve. I've been testing software for 20 years. This app is enterprise class and isn't a tool to get rich with. No, get rich quick scheme. Yes, that's absolutely true. Thank you very much. And with that said, I'd like to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. Homegrown Art has made just a wonderful post right now. Super thankful for all our blessings that come in different shapes and sizes. All have been a marvelous group. Thank you very much, Homegrown Art. Very, very much appreciate that post. So thank you, Nick, and thank you everybody who's attended. We'll call it a wrap now. And I'll post this recording as far as as soon as it has been processed by GoToWebinar, and you'll find it in the YouTube channel, but also on the Facebook page. So happy Thanksgiving, have a nice holiday, and we'll see you in the next Q&A.
Thanks, guys. Bye, Smir.
Thanks. Bye.